So here we are again. Today's latest update. We are 12 days into the new reality of having to look at a parent, an elderly individual who has been full of life, zest, and piss and vinegar, I think would be what she would say, is now just so frail and so given over to whatever it is that she's dealing with. Mind you, we're on day 12 from the initial hospital intake, and we're a day and a half on her discharge. So the first day, obviously, she was worn out coming from the hospital. She was sedated in the respect that I don't know what all the last medications were that they'd given her, but not coherent, not really there, and hard to determine. So a full day yesterday of trying to acclimate to what's going to be our new norm and caring for her and getting the idea of what, if anything, she's capable of doing for herself. So obviously, the longer you lay in a bed, the weaker you become. She was already frail, she was already tiny, and now it is even more advanced as far as that goes. Where I thought my mom was petite, which was new because she was always 5'7" and voluptuous build and dynamic in every way. My mom is still dynamic, but her frame and her body composition, I guess, has morphed and changed over the last number of years. Not really to any reasonable explanation or anything like that, but just, as you age, you lose muscle mass, you lose maybe some of that vitality of extra substance to your body. But she is beyond frail at this point. My two fingers here basically wrap around her wrist, and skin and bones. Just really, really beyond what you would think being functional. My mom has always had a great appetite. She's always eaten well until this, and this, of course, has taken its toll on that dynamic as well. But you try to encourage her to eat, and especially to get the nutrients into her body that she really, really needs right now. And every day is a struggle. And yesterday we did really well. We got food in from the beginning of the day with a breakfast, a lunch, and she ate a dinner. These are not her normal portion sizes, but at least she was eating. Got her up and moving around a little bit so she would walk to the potty chair. She was able to get from a seated position into another seated position or standing for a moment, and just really trying to encourage her each day to do a little more something without overcoming any of the issues or anything like that in a bad way. So I don't want to wear her out. I just want to know that she still has that will to do something and sees the benefit of making that movement for herself. So a little bit of chair aerobics, calisthenics, whatever, just to keep the limbs to move and the function to be there. But last night was difficult, and normally she takes a low dose of pain medication just to ease her into a comfortable sleep, and normally that within 20 minutes of taking, and she's out sound asleep. And that did not happen last night. So last night was quite stressful for her and the body, and just coughing started, and it just became more, not the drive cough that she's had off and on, or the mucus cough that she was getting at the last of the hospital, but this was just racking her body. And 3 hours she was at that point really ready to go back to the hospital, and I'm wondering why in the world was she ever released in the first place, because obviously I want the opportunity to take care of her, and I want to be able to do for her. I certainly know that, at least in a compassionate state at home, that's going to be better for her. But when it comes to the medical side of it, I don't have that experience. I don't know. And I don't want to have to make a bad decision that then has other issues for her. But, I'm going back to the let's have a hot tea. Let's see if we can soothe the throat. Let's try a throat lozenge. And you don't want to do anything that conflicts with medicine that she has. But to be honest, she really isn't taking anything at this point other than an antibiotic that's a low dosage, and she's only on that for 2 days. And then the pain medication that she gets, if that is necessary. The rest of it are vitamin D and iron, and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't really have anything that's counter to what we would be doing. But I did give her a dose of cough medicine just because we were trying anything and everything, and literally throwing it all into the mix to see if we could get it to subside. Last ditch effort, we just kind of made a final push with all the medicine and the lozenger, and she finally had 2 minutes of not coughing, and then it fell into 5 minutes, and then next thing I know, she was sound asleep. So by 10:15, which is 3.5 hours after she started this process, she finally was able to sleep, and she got a decent night's sleep. Up at 4 o'clock, we go through the normal routine, but it is a whole new reality, and knowing that there are going to be things that we will have to overcome, deal with, figure out, ask for help and advice from others who may have gone through similar. I mean, that's really what it's about. Yes, you want medical attention. Yes, you want their experience and expertise, but I'll be honest, they pretty much have said, until this follow-up appointment, there's not much else we can do until we get the final report. So we did learn yesterday that is going to be the end of the month, and that's a couple of weeks away. So it's a lot to figure out what we have to do in the meantime. So today is grocery day, and a lot of focus on what are the good foods for her to eat, what are the things that will help her to gain that nutrition that she needs, and what will help build back the body energy, the cells that need to be healed, and anything like that. So a lot of reading and a lot of research is going into this. And again, this is the way that my mother has always been. If you can heal your body yourself, then that's the first choice. And first act is to make sure that you're eating the right foods and doing the right things. So we're really going to make a concerted effort towards that, and hope to be able to share if there's any progress in that respect. But, it's one of those things where images just keep coming to the mind, and you, more than anything, remember and reflect on the person that you're caring for, and knowing that you have no ulterior motives. By no means, you are there as their caregiver. It is such an important and vital role that my heart breaks when I think about it. I think about people who have maybe been in this position or in this position and don't have that family support or a loved one. And it's gut-wrenching, to be honest. And I know that I'll do everything in my power. Thankfully, I get my determination from my mother. And at this point, I'm just praying that I can give her the courage from me, so that she continues and gets to where she needs to be, back to a healthy, happy, and energetic life. That would be the way she would want to write her final chapter, and I'm hoping that is not in the near future. But reality is I'm having to come to terms with a lot of things. And so currently dealing with financial aspects and everything, we talked about the POA, how important that is, the medical directive, how important that is, making sure you're following the wishes of the person, but also just having a power of attorney doesn't do it. If you need access to pay bills or do any of those things, it is easier if you're added to the account. Again, an easier thing to do while the person is still here and in capacity. So every day I learn something new. Every day is a different struggle, and every day I hope for that little glimmer of the positive. And I especially know that every day I am grateful for whatever I get with her and whatever I can learn and share for anybody else. So take care, enjoy, and we'll bring more updates. Thanks.